Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. Don't forget to subscribe. Today, I want to talk about Instagram because they have a new feature called Instagram Map, and the privacy is quite concerning. Now, if you're a longtime listener or follower of mine, you know that I take Meta, aka Facebook, Instagram, etc., aka Mark Zuckerberg, to task quite a bit, and I think this is an important one as well. So for that, we're going to start with a primer from NBC News' Jennifer Neer, and quite frankly, I think this is alarming. She had a really great write-up on this, but I'm just going to be cribbing the first part of this. Go read that article. But here's what's going on, because as I mentioned, they just rolled out Instagram Map, and the purpose of this feature, according to their own press releases, is to basically provide a lightweight method for users to connect with each other and then explore local things and happenings, around them, basically allowing people to share where they are in real time. You see where this is going for me. And so users can then access their maps by going basically to their DMs. So when a user clicks or taps on the map, it shows the geolocation of users who have opted into sharing their location based on the last time they opened Instagram or shared an Instagram story. When users first open the map, they are prompted with options of, quote, who can see your location, end quote, allowing them to choose whether or not they want to share their location. After the feature was unveiled this past Wednesday, users began sharing screenshots of what the map looks like on their pages, and a handful of posts ended up criticizing this feature, and those have amassed hundreds of thousands of views that are circulating across, you name the platform, X, Threads, TikTok, Instagram itself, etc., etc. So some of the most viral posts were from people like basically former Bachelor alum Kelly Flanagan. I do not know who that is, for the record. Anyway, she issued a warning to people online to turn their location sharing off, suggesting it could be a risk to their privacy. And Kelly, you're absolutely correct. Some users also reported that their geotag stories are appearing on Instagram Maps, even when they've opted out of sharing the live location. I'm sure Meta will say it's a bug that they'll eventually fix, and probably won't. So that's the primer. Like I said, Jennifer's article was crazy long on a whole bunch of different things, but I want to break this down specifically because I've basically been tracking Meta when they were Facebook for years and years and years and years. Especially, you would know this if you're a longtime listener or follower. And so I want to talk about what data Meta could collect on you if you use this, and how they could use the data themselves. So first things first. Simply by using this, let's talk about what data would be collected. Your last active location would then be known to Meta. They would have that. So when you open the app, or if it's running in the background, Instagram Map is going to record your last active location, and basically it's going to publish it to a map that you've opted into. But that means Meta gets a copy of this as well. On top of it, tag locations in stories, reels, posts, notes, all of this. Any content that you tag with a location is going to basically appear on the map, typically for about 24 hours or so, according to what Instagram has said, and can be seen by your followers or those that you choose. But again, reports are saying that even though you're saying opt out or narrow that list to, let's say, 5 people you know, it's going beyond that for some users. On top of it, they're going to start tracking your usage patterns. Beyond just simple location points, Instagram could start to infer things like timing and frequency of your app usage, enabling analysis of your habits and your routines. In other words, understand that they can build predictive models on this, right? You're giving them this information, and that brings us to what Meta could do with this data. Obviously, they could start basically creating profile, like insights into your profile, behavior prediction. So repeated patterns, like AKA where you live, because you're going to show up there a lot, where you work, you're going to show up there a lot. All of this stuff can basically help Meta predict sensitive attributes about you. Healthcare visits, if you're going to the doctor regularly or not. Religious, if you're showing up to a church, synagogue, mosque, whatever. Recreational habits, if you're always going to, ball games or whatever. They could also tailor recommendations and advertising more effectively to you, which is what they sell to the companies that want to advertise to you as well. This is psychological profiling on top of it. So they will target advertising and content for you. Location data enriches ad targeting. It's promotions for nearby businesses. I've talked about this at length. Also, location-based content discovery. So local events and venues, etc., etc. So if they know you're going to this venue on this certain day where this certain band or group or whatever is playing, they're going to understand that. And basically, they're going to start to understand your preferences, your targeting, targeting your habits, all this kind of stuff. On top of it, we've got aggregated mapping and trends. Even anonymized aggregated location data can help map trends, popular places, food traffic, local engagement, which can be monetized and sold as insights. But they're going to know that you're part of that trend. So if everybody's showing up to some hot restaurant in some hot location and you're there too, they're going to understand that. So when the next one pops up, they can advertise that to you and everybody else. On top of it, we've got basically safety and law enforcement use as well. As I'm just thinking this through as making notes today, right? In the past, Meta has basically been very friendly to government and legal requests by law enforcement. So location data could be shared under subpoenas or urgent safety situations, et cetera, et cetera. And we've seen them do that quite a bit. You know, they are very friendly with the current administration. If the current administration wants information on you for whatever reason, then yeah, this could potentially give them that, not to mention a prediction of where you're going to go. Oh, every Thursday at 2 p.m., he or she shows up here. You might as well, you know, park the cop car there and pick them up then, whatever it is, right? On top of it, the standard risks to privacy, all that kind of stuff. This has the potential for stalking and harassment, you know, because we're talking about precise locations. So even with followers or mutual, like say, acquaintances, you know, this raises the risk of real world stalking or targeted harassment, especially for vulnerable users or celebrities. If people are following The Bachelor, like Kelly Flanagan, you know, again, don't know who she is, but if she turns that on and says, oh yeah, I'm, you know, blah, 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 now she walks into a restaurant, maybe a whole bunch of crowd's going to follow her in there. Something along those lines, including the people that might want to kidnap her or worse, right? So these are things that we have to worry about. On top of it, we've got problems with unintended sharing, which obviously is going to lead to some kind of confusion. Users have reported mistakenly appearing on the map without realizing it or being confused by basically how tagged content appears, leading to fears that their location may have been exposed unknowingly. Sometimes these things are convoluted. I haven't seen the interface, but if it's anything like a dark pattern for Instagram Maps, you may be opting in when you think you're not, or you may think you're not sharing content when you are. You've got to be very clear on these things. On top of it, sensitive locations, right? I mean, this is absolutely crazy. Imagine exposing this, you know, and you're basically showing up to a battered women's clinic, right, for help. You know, maybe your ex now sees you on Instagram Maps because they've either opted you in or you don't understand the privacy settings. These things happen. Same with shelters, other private spaces. You know, does everybody need to know what church you go to? Does Facebook, Meta, Instagram, whatever? These are things that are important to understand. And so by virtue of it, it erodes trust even further. I have zero trust in Meta. This just digs the grave. You know, I thought we'd hit bottom, and, you know, I heard a knocking from below, which I think is an old Russian phrase, if I remember. So understand the serious complications and issues that Instagram has with this map feature and Meta in general. Anything you do, anything you do, they are hoovering up this information. They're going to sell it to whoever they want. They're going to give it to law enforcement as they see fit. And quite frankly, as you're posting things, good, bad, ugly, religious, political, you name it, they can capture all of that as well outside of just the map feature and turn it over to whoever they want to turn it over to. You have no rights on these platforms. You have no right to privacy if you're using a Meta product. So understand that. Good luck to you if you're on Instagram and using Instagram Maps, but you can't say you haven't been told. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter, where, again, you will be data mined, but I don't put personal stuff here. I only talk about how bad Facebook is. Same with YouTube, although I like YouTube, but YouTube data mines you as well. It's a Google product, but you should subscribe either way because we're all on it anyway. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private, informed, and secure, which is just getting harder and harder and harder these days, isn't it? Take care.